with Iran's archenemy, the US, but also a master tactician who empowered hardline supporters inside Iran to the detriment of moderates and reformers.
Ali Jamenei was really an accident of history. He's someone who, when he was named supreme leader in 1989, people had very low expectations of him.
Jamenei was an activist before the Islamic Revolution, helping organize protests against the Shah and serving time in prison for it. He was a student and close associate of Ayatollah Khomeini, the charismatic figure who led Iran after the Shah was toppled. He was also a target for the regime's opponents and escaped an assassination attempt in 1981 that left his right arm paralyzed. Not long afterwards, he was elected president on a platform deeply hostile to the West and its comparatively liberal ideology, especially to the United States, threatening a hard fight should there ever be a war between the two rival nations.
We, in no way, are willing to start an all-out war with the United States. But if it so happens, we will inevitably put up a very strong defense.
When Khomeini died in 1989, Jamenei became his successor.
He had enormous shoes to fill, the shoes of the late Ayatollah Khomeini, the father of the revolution. But he died one of the most powerful men in Iran of the last 2 centuries. He was someone who had amassed tremendous power. He is not only one of the most powerful men in Iran, but I would argue one of the most powerful men in the Middle East.
2009 brought about the first real challenge to his rule. Demonstrations claiming elections had been rigged. Jamenei met it with force, widespread arrests and calls for unity.
Arm wrestling in the streets is not the right thing to do after the elections. I want everyone to put an end to this. If they don't stop this, then the consequences, the rioting and everything, they will be held accountable for all.
Again and again, his regime faced calls for moderation. In 2022, the 22-year-old Mahsa Amini died after being arrested by the so-called morality police, and the Woman Life Freedom movement swept the country. His support for Iran's nuclear energy program and missile programs defied much of his country's relations with the West, whose governments feared Iran would develop nuclear weapons. Under Jamenei, Iran's influence extended into Iraq after Saddam Hussein's ouster. Tehran also became a major player in the civil wars in Syria and Yemen. And yet, in the wake of Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel and the ensuing war in Gaza, he saw Iran's regional influences collapse. Israel's devastating attacks in Lebanon neutered Iran's most powerful proxy force, Hezbollah. And a lightning offensive by Syria's rebels saw another steadfast ally, dictator Bashar al-Assad, flee for the safety of Moscow. It presaged perhaps the most devastating blow yet. In June 2025, Iran and Israel launched what would become a 12-day war, Tehran attacking Tel Aviv with long-range missiles, and the US joining Israel in bombing Iran's nuclear facilities. In just a few short years, Khamenei's entire security strategy seemingly collapsed. Billions spent on proxy forces, missile and nuclear development vanished. Jamenei tried to put a brave face on it.
They
are desperate. In the 12-day war, they received such slaps that they couldn't believe it. They hadn't anticipated it. They became desperate. This person, Trump, went to boost their morale. He went to pull them out of despair.
Khamenei's legacy is yet to be written. Overreach, burying the aspirations of the Iranian people in a region whose geopolitics were being upended, and a theocratic government trying to stick to old ideals, failing to adapt to the 21st century.